Hey guys, today we are going to be doing the DTF hack using an inkjet printer. And so this is the image that we're going to be actually placing on a dark blue cotton, 100% cotton t-shirt. So without further ado, let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please ensure to like, share, and subscribe. And also click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner to be made aware anytime I upload tutorials or videos to YouTube. All right, let's craft together.
All right, guys, so for this particular project today, we're going to be using Cricut Design Space. And we're going to use Cricut because we're going to have Cricut to create an offset of our image. And then we're going to use that offset to serve as the white because there's no white pigment ink when you're using an inkjet printer. So to kind of get away from not having white in our image and it taking on the color of the t-shirt, which in this case is dark blue, we're going to use the white A sub HTV heat transfer vinyl. Okay. All right. So here I am on inside of Cricut. I'm going to go to upload and I'm going to upload my image. And it is this image here. All right, now that we have the image, we're going to click on continue in the bottom right corner. We're not going to be removing anything here, so we're going to go ahead and click on apply and continue. And we're going to use a flat graphic because we're going to do a print then cut. So we're going to click on flat graphic and continue. Now this is where you can name your design, so image details, and all that good stuff. You can use tags, keywords to get back to this. We're just going to click on upload. And still thinking, huge. This thing is 20.629 by 23.812. You can see the size here. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this a lot more manageable. Okay, so the easy way to do that is to come over here to the right to your layers panel, and it's going to tell you, it's going to give you a little exclamation, which is an alert. And if you click on it, it's going to say your image is too large. So um, I can print up to 11 by 17 on my printer. And so I can change this since my uh, images or my print size goes up to 11 by 17. I'm able to use 9.93 by 11.47 in sizing. So I could actually change the page size, okay? Or I can auto resize it. Now, since I have the largest page size, which is 11 by 17, I don't think they've given us the ability to go larger. Let's just take a look. Nope. All right, so I'm going to leave it on the 11 by 17, click on the alert, and I'm going to say auto resize this image. And it'll automatically reduce it down to what's allowable. Okay, so now that we have that, what we want to do is we want to, and this is going to be a print and cut. So we're going to have Cricut send this to my inkjet printer, and then we're going to create an offset in white HTV heat transfer vinyl, and then we're going to have Cricut to cut the offset out, okay? And I'm going to show you how it's going to come together here in just a moment, okay? So what we're going to do, since we have the largest we can go with the 11 by 17 print size, we're going to click on offset here in the menu. And then we're going to bring this down. I'm going to get it kind of thin as I can possibly get it. And you'll see the offset appear here in just a moment. It'll also show as a second layer in your layers panel when it's done. All right. So now we have our layer. When you click on apply, you're going to get that second layer over here on the right. So we're going to click on apply. And now it's telling us that our offset is too large, right? And it's also showing the offset in white. So a couple of things we're going to do here. Because the offset is not going to be a print, it's going to be a cut, okay? So we're going to come over here to our menu, and we're going to select the operation, and we're going to change, excuse me, change this to a basic cut. All right. Notice that the offset alert goes away because you can cut larger than that print size. Okay. And we're also going to change the color to white. Okay. So now if I were to come over here on the right and click my canvas, and then in the menu area under color, I can then select um, to change the color so you can kind of see what it's going to look like. So my shirt is like a dark blue. It almost looks black. So that's what it's going to look like on my shirt. Okay. That's what it will look like. So we have two layers here. We have this part that we're going to have Cricut to send to the printer. And then we have this part that we're going to have Cricut to cut out for us in HTV vinyl. And again, I'm using the brand A-Sub. Okay. So you don't have to do anything here. Our print then cut is good to go. And then our basic cut is good to go. All right. Now, if you want to save this project, you can click on save and then you can name it. So it's going to say Black History image. And I'm going to save this as a t-shirt design. And we are now ready to go ahead and click on make. Oh, one more thing, guys. One more thing. Well, we can do it on the next screen. So we're going to click on make. And you're going to see two layers here. Your two layers. One is going to be your print then cut and one is going to be your basic cut. Okay. So we have our print then cut and then we have our basic cut. Now on both of these, we're going to mirror. So for your print then cut, you're going to come down here on the left-hand side and turn the mirror on. And on your basic cut, you're also going to turn the mirror on, okay? And then we're going to change this to 12 by 12. Okay, it wants to go. It wants to make us do a 12 by 24, which is fine. I have that size printer, but um, not printer, but pad, so we're good. Okay, so we're going to click back on the print then cut. You want to start there and make sure that your mirror is on, okay? If it's grayed out, that means your mirror is not turned on and you're not going to be able to do DTF with this because it's going to automatically be in the wrong direction. You'll just have to throw that away, okay? All right, so we're going to start out with the print then cut. So we're going to, when I click on continue, we're going to have the ability to send this image to my printer. I'm going to send it to my inkjet printer. Then after I get it printed out, I'm going to skip over the cut portion for this image because we're not going to have Cricut to cut it out. I'm just going to do a rough cut myself with the DTF film. I'm just going to do a rough cut, okay? But then I'll come back and I will click on this option here, and then I will tell Cricut, I'm going to say cardstock, guys. And the reason I use medium cardstock for the print on the vinyl is because it's white and it's hard to see those cuts Okay, so when I choose medium cardstock, it makes those cuts more pronounced, but it doesn't cut all the way through, but it makes it more pronounced so it's easier for me to see my cuts, so I know exactly where to peel my vinyl up from. Okay, so I'm going to click back on the print then cut. And the reason I'm telling you this is because once I go to the printing part, I'm just going to tell you I'm clicking print or what I'm doing, but I won't be showing the visual at that point. Okay, so I'm going to click on continue. All right, so here we're going to say still thinking. Every now and again, my Cricut will cut off, but for the most part, excuse me, y'all, I'm yarning. I leave it on. All right. So if I haven't said it, I'm using the Cricut Maker. And as you can see here, I have it on Bluetooth. So we're gonna make sure my Bluetooth is connected. Cricut is acting crazy. I might have to cut my Cricut machine off to get my Bluetooth to come back up here. There we go. All right, so we're gonna send this to the printer. And notice it has these black lines in each corner. If you're new to Cricut Design Space, those are called registration marks, sensor marks. And what they're doing is they're going to tell Cricut where to cut if we were to have Cricut to cut this out, which we're not. So I'm going to have this printed out on DTF film. I'm using DTF film by Welacer in the size of 11 by 17. Okay, and um, we're going to have Cricut to send this to my inkjet printer to print it out, and then I'm going to actually physically cut, cut these away, and we'll be able to see where to lay this. So we'll just do a rough cut around our image, okay? So we're going to go to next. We got 11 by 17. We're going to send this to my HP OfficeJet Pro 7740. And you can leave the bleed on, guys. I'm going to take mine off, and I'm going to use the system dialogs and print. All right. All right, all right, all right. Okay, so we have it on the 7740. We're going to click on Preferences. And we have it in the portrait position. We're going to put it in our main paper tray. We'll just leave it on stationery, best. And let's click the advance. We're using tabloid size paper or DTF film and borderless. We're going to say 1. All right, so we got everything set. Portrait, front side. We're going to click on OK. And then I'm going to click on print. Now, once I click on print, I'll show you the film that I'm using. I'll load it into my HP OfficeJet Pro 7740. Then I'll come back to Cricut. That part I'm not going to show. I'm going to come back to Cricut, click on this basic cut down here, and have Cricut to cut out the HTV vinyl. Okay, so we're not, and I repeat myself, I'm not having Cricut to cut this out for me, only the offset layer here that you can see in the background down on the bottom. Okay, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my film and then I'll hit print. Alright guys, this is the film by Welacer, and this is 11 by 17. It comes in 100 sheets, and I'm going to link it in the description of this video tutorial for you. It also shows you the printing surface information here, double-sided DTF film, and that it's 100 sheets. I'm going to go ahead and take out one sheet. And guys, you really want to work fast when you're working. You really want to work fast when you're working with the inkjet ink. You want to work fast. You don't want to let your ink dry, and then you try to put the powder on, and the powder won't stick. So you really want to be ready to go. I mean, ready to go when you do this part, okay? All right, y'all, let me get my gloves. All right, guys, so I have a shiny side, and then I have a dull side. I'm going to put the film in on the shiny side because I want it to print on the dull side. Alright, now that we have that in, I'm going to go ahead and hit print. And once we get this printed out, we're going to go immediately over to the DTF area where we have my powder, and we're going to want to coat. I don't know what's going on with me this morning, y'all. We're going to coat our film. Now, when this prints out, I'm going to cut off those black registration marks because I don't need them, because I'm not going to be sending anything to the printer. All right, let's see what's going on. Now, the last time I did this on inkjet, it printed out just fine. Now, today, it may be acting crazy, but we're going to see what happens. So, when it does this, guys, it's saying it doesn't recognize the film. And we're going to see if it picks it up. Okay, it picked it up that time. Now, if for whatever reason your inkjet printer doesn't recognize your DTF film because it being so thin and see-through, then you can use painter's tape on there. And the painter's tape will help your printer to recognize the ink or the film. Oh, god dang on it. It touched it, y'all. When it pushed it out, let me show you. It hit right there. And I don't like the fact that it's got lines in here. So I'm going to reprint this. I hate to throw away film because, you know, supplies is money. But I want to print that again. Alright, so again, we got our shiny side and then we got our dull side. Shiny side up. Alright. One second here. I'm just choosing all my settings again, y'all. Give me 1 second. Alright, y'all. I just chose to print it again. just making sure it's pushed all the way up to the front part of the printer so that it'll pick it up without any problems. And it should print this time. This time I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to let it come out. Okay. We're good this time. It didn't hit. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the black registration marks. You know, I'll do that when I get over here to my DTF powder. So I'll just do it here. That way I don't have to delay coating. So we're going to go ahead and put that on. And you want to apply the powder all over. And that's why I said be ready to go. Alright, so that's where we are right now. I'm going to put this in the convection oven. So I'm going to cut off the registration marks, y'all. Give me 1 second, but before I do that, I'm going to double coat this baby, okay? So I'm going to cure it in my convection oven at 350 for 10 seconds. And then I'm going to come back and coat it again. So I'm going to do 2 coats this time. Cure, powder, and cure twice. So now I'm just getting myself ready to go for my next or my second coating. And let me get my scissors. So I'm just going to cut the image down. This is where I said we're going to do just a rough cut. And we're also going to remove those registration marks because we don't need that. Don't let your hands touch that black ink from your registration marks, because then you're going to end up with, you know, black ink on your hands. So, probably can't see me right now, but I'm just cutting off this excess. And then we're going straight to the convection oven. Alright, so this is what we have. So I cut away the registration marks, and now we're going to take this and put it into my convection oven, and we're going to cure it for 10 seconds. Let me take my tray out. Let me get my heat gloves, y'all. Pull my tray out, and I'm going to sit my image on top of the tray. I'm going to go 10 seconds. Just that quick, it's cured. What we're going to do is I'm going to take it back over to my powder station here, and we're going to coat it one more time. Coat and cure twice. And my glove ended up with a little hole in it, so I might have one more glove right here. So we coated it and cured it once. We're coating and curing it for the second time. Shake off that excess. So this is what it's looking like. And now we're going to go back over and we're going to cure it one more time for 10 seconds. So put that there, and we'll pop it right into the convection oven. For 10 seconds. Trying to get my glove on, y'all. That off, and you can see that it looks like wet sugar on there. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get it onto our dark blue t-shirt. I'm gonna cut my heat press on and get my heat press up. We're gonna heat press this at 325 for 20 seconds. So give me one moment. So while I'm waiting on my heat press to heat up, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take you over to the Cricut Maker, and we're gonna cut our white HTV vinyl by A-Sub. So give me 1 second. All right guys, I now have the vinyl, the white HTV A-Sub vinyl, and we're gonna go ahead and get Cricut to cut this out for us. This is our offset that we created. Let me get a little piece of tape, y'all, to hold that down. All right. This mat is not the stickiest. So this is just cutting out, again, the offset. If you forget to tell Cricut or to let Cricut know that we're not cutting out the image part, it's going to start looking for registration marks. That's one way you're going to be able to know that, uh-oh, that's not what I want to do. So using the fine point blade, we're going to let Cricut cut this offset out for us. And then we'll be able to tack this down to our dark blue t-shirt. And then we'll heat press the DTF transfer on top of the vinyl. And the reason we do it this way, guys, is because there's no white pigment ink using the inkjet printer. So you find yourself limited where you can't, you know, do projects outside of using a white t-shirt or very light colors. So with this process, you're still able to do DTF, but you're using the hack of the HTV vinyl behind your image. And you can make that offset as thin as you want to. It can be so thin that it almost looks as though it's not there, so it's not noticeable. I like to leave just a little bit of a border because I think it adds a little bit of pop, especially on dark colors. So we're gonna let Cricut do its thing here. And again, I put this on medium cardstock, guys, not vinyl.
because with the white vinyl it's hard to see the cuts. So when I put it on medium cardstock, it doesn't cut all the way through, and it makes those cuts more pronounced so that I will be able to easily see where my cuts are. And then we're only going to tack this down to our blue t-shirt initially. So we'll do about 5 seconds to just tack it to the shirt. And then we'll do the full 325 for 20 seconds when we put the DTF image on top, or the DTF transfer on top. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can see those cuts perfectly. So I won't be missing anything. Now, if you are interested in learning how to do sublimation, the DTF sublimation hack, I also have a video on my YouTube channel to show you how to do this as well. Same process, different printer, and using sublimation ink. So since my mat is not super sticky, guys, that's where I have my hands to make sure I don't end up with a boo-boo. All right. And I would pause you, but I want you guys to see the entire project, because if I make a boo-boo, I let you guys see the boo-boo, like when we printed it out on that inkjet printer the first time. I want you to see everything that I'm doing. I do not go in and edit my videos. Alright, let's see how much time Cricut is saying. Oh, it's done. I was about to see how much longer we had. Alright, so it looked like it's got a little bit of, tried to pull up right there. So I'm going to show you guys so you can see those cuts very good. Alright, but it doesn't cut all the way through, and that way I can easily see where my cuts are. Alright, so we're going to get this weeded out, and then we're going to put it onto our t-shirt. So I'm going to go ahead and unload it from the mat because I know my cuts are there. Alright, and as you can see, it doesn't cut all the way through there. Alright, so I'm going to weed this, and then we're going to be ready to put it on our t-shirt. Alright guys, so I'm going to start weeding away the excess vinyl that we're not going to be using, and then we'll leave down, it will leave down the part that we are going to be using. So I'm going to start that process, and this vinyl I think is a little bit thinner than the ones that I get at the local t-shirt shop here, because in some places it did kind of cut a little bit through, but we're going to work it to where we get everything to stay down on our carrier sheet. Alright, so I'm just weeding away the excess that we're not going to use, or that we don't need, shall I say. And it weaves perfectly, guys. It's only one little area that I'm going to be super careful with, over here on this side close to me. So I'm going to hold the carrier sheet down as I pull, so that it doesn't pull up.
It's this little area right in here. Okay. So far, so good. And y'all can see how those cuts are perfect because I selected medium cardstock and not everyday vinyl. Alright, so that part is trash. And now I can see where I need to weed these other areas. Really easy. Otherwise, I'd be like trying to feel around and see where my cuts are. And I did not want to have to do that. All right, so we're just going to get all of this weeded out. And weeding is basically, if you're new, weeding is just taking away the excess vinyl that we don't need for our project. It's just taking that part away. Pulling all those little extra pieces of vinyl out. And we'll be trashing those because we don't need them. All right, got some little areas over here. I'm telling you guys, if I would have put this on everyday vinyl, I would have missed some cuts. I know I would have. I would have missed some areas. And it could be too because y'all know I wear glasses. And there's one right there. I hear my heat press in there like, I'm ready. Just a couple more little pieces. All right, let me take a look. There's one right there. And let's see, make sure I didn't miss anything. That looks like a little bitty piece right there, but that could also be where it was just acting crazy. I think we're good. I think I got everything now. So we're gonna now take this to the heat press and we're gonna press it onto, we're gonna tack it down onto our shirt, and then we're gonna heat press our image on there. All right, so back to the press. Okay guys, here we are at the heat press, and I have this coming about 3 fingers from the collar because it's a rounded neck. And we're gonna go ahead and press this for about 5 seconds, and then we'll put our transfer on top and press it. So we're only gonna go about 5 seconds. Just enough to tack that vinyl down. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to take our DTF transfer and put it on top. We want to make sure we get it just right and don't miss anything. I'm going to take a good look before I press it, y'all, because I want to make sure I got it on here good. Now it kind of looked like it should be like that right there, but then this side looks wonky. I'm thinking it goes like that. That's what I'm thinking, y'all. I think that's gonna be about as good as I'm gonna get it. I really wanted that to be, I really feel like I need to cut this part right here and do it separately. I think I am, y'all, because it looks a little bit wonky to me. So I'm gonna cut it
as best I can to get it lined up better, because the last thing I want is for it to be, we went through too much work. We went through too much work to get here, right? All right, so we're gonna take and we're gonna place that down. I think that's better. Okay, I like that better. And then we're gonna take this part and place it down. Still looks a little wonky on that side. I think that's good though. It's gonna be about as good as I can get it. This side keeps wanting to move. Let's see if I can lift that up. And then put this down. Okay, let's see. I think that looks better. All right. Not 100% perfect, but I think that's better. All right, I'm gonna put a sheet on top. I'm gonna put a Teflon sheet on top. I'm gonna try not to move it. And we're gonna press it at 325 for 20 seconds. And then we're gonna let it cool down, and then we'll peel it and see what we got. 3 seconds. Alright, we're gonna let it cool down. Give you guys a better look here. We're gonna let it cool down, and then we will peel off that carrier sheet. Alright, so I will be back. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and peel this off. Oh, I love it. I love it. Alright, I'm going to do one more hit on it. I'm going to press it one more time with just the Teflon sheet on, and we'll be done. I think I told you, if I didn't tell you guys, I got this image from Creative Fabrica. I will link it in the description of this video tutorial for those that may want to use it. If you have Creative Fabrica. If you don't, they do charge you for the image. Yo, that's fire. Alright, that is fire. I'm going to put it up on the hanger so you guys can see it here. And give me 1 second. And I'm going to let you see the